Hello, and welcome back to yet another Tales from my backlog. Yes, in case you don't know, this month I'm going to be covering a lot more of movies from my backlog that I want to cover. Instead of doing reviews of movies I've already seen, now it's time to start doing reviews for movies that I have not seen. And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Philomena. Now, this movie has been on my radar since last November, I want to say. Back last November, um, I had an Irish movie kick going on where I just wanted to watch nothing but Irish movies, which I did do. I watched a good few Irish movies back last November, and I was wanting to watch when I wanted to watch The Guard. When I went to go watch The Guard, I was looking before that. I looked up, what are the top 10 best Irish movies, and Philomena was on that list. If not, I think it was number one on that list. And I watched the trailer and it piqued my interest, and so I kept an eye out for it. I eventually bought a DVD copy, which I then upgraded to Blu ray, and I decided it's about time that I get to watch this movie because I've heard so many great things from it. It's won quite a lot of awards, and I'm really glad that I did because this has is probably my favorite Irish movie. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's definitely up there. This movie is based off of the true story of Philomena Lee and her um struggle to try and find her son who was adopted off by the Catholic Church in Ireland back in the 50s when she was sent there and she got pregnant. That's what the in Ireland, that's what the Catholic Church done. They would sell off adoptions to a lot of Americans. They'd pay a certain amount and they would adopt someone. And in in this movie, we go through her progress of finding out what happened to our son with the help of Martin. Last name I'm not going to begin to pronounce. Um, Played by one sec. I want to make sure that I don't butcher this. Steve Coogan, who's a prolific comedy actor, and this is the first serious role that I've actually seen him in, and he done a fantastic job in this role. He played it really well. Um, so after 50 years since her son was taken from her, Philomena finally comes out and says about her firstborn, and so then they start the track down process. They visit the church where the nun convent that she was staying at. They obviously want to keep it on the hush hush, so they just won't tell her anything. They say that any files they had on his whereabouts went up in a fire, which we then later learn was the nuns actually burning it themselves, so there would be no paper trace except for one where Philomena and other um, mothers signed away the rights essentially, saying that they won't try and find them and that. And so then Philomena and Martin travel to America to find out more about her son, and they find him a little too late though. Unfortunately, he had passed away in 1995, and so they then go meet up with his adopted sister to see if he mentioned Ireland or mentioned wanting to find his birth mother, and she says no. Um, and then they go track down his partner because it turns out that he was gay and he had a partner, and it also turns out that he passed away from AIDS, and that he was also a part of the Republican Party. He was there during the Reagan and Clinton presidencies, and so they track down his partner of the time, and they watch a bunch, some home movies that was taken of her, of Philomena's lost son, who now goes by Michael. They gave him a new first name, and then they notice that there's footage of them at that nun's convent, and which they, as I said, they lied about that, where not knowing where he is and all that stuff, and so after that they of course travel back to Ireland and they go there, and turns out he's actually buried there, in hopes that Philomena would find his grave, and that's where the movie ends. And it's a beautiful story. It really does tug on your heartstrings, and for like only an hour and a half, it's not that, the hour and a half actually flies by. Like, it doesn't drag. To me, it doesn't drag in any places. And everyone that's in it is absolutely amazing. As I said, Steve Coogan was done really, really well in this serious role that I'm not used to seeing him in. I'm more used to seeing him in the likes of Gavin and Stacey and all that. Um, but yeah, he done really, really well. Now, the actress who plays Philomena, Dame Judi Dench. Wow, I was blown away by her performance, just because of how much she got the old Irish mammy mannerisms down. Like I've grown up around people who act like Philomena does, or how Judi Dench portrays Philomena in this movie. I've grown up around people like that and throughout my life, so it resonates with me on that scale, because I've known, uh like, people who act like that would be my granny's age, and all of that, and she done superb. I have no gripes about her performance whatsoever. I absolutely loved it, and it got me to laugh a good lot of the times, just with what she was saying, because I'm like, that's a typical Irish mother thing to say, of someone who grew up in around that time. That's so fucking typical. um and yeah, it's a great movie. I'm glad now that I finally got around to watching it. It's definitely one of my favorite Irish movies. um and yeah, that's going to wrap up the review. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all on the next review, which I don't know what that is yet. Well, I have it scheduled in my bedroom, but yeah, you'll obviously know what's next. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next upload.